Shuchiputra Patraswarupam Rupam Tasakacha Mathurim Oshvatim Radha Kundal Magirivadam Oho Radhika Marvasam Raktoyas Patita Kripaya Sri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hemapatyavyacchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahapremarasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Bhaktya Vina Aparada Lakse Chupashta Kamaritoram Kamanti Dipa Mahitam Shanam Prapanna Vrindino Maste Charanara Vindam Vrindino Maste Charanara Vindam Damo Dharammadaveti Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti Hey Krishna Hey Yadava Hey Saketi Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Sham Sundar Shikhanda Shekhar Smarahas Murali Manohada Radhikar Sukamama Kripanidhe Supriyucharna Kinkurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Na Jivami Tayavana Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Namah Charantikam. First of all, I offer my sustained Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmatiya Parmaradatam Gurupala Padma Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtotarastasri Rupanuga Charivarya Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev and to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, after my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpatarubhasya, Kripasindubhyavasa, Uditanam Bhavani Rupasya. Shri Gurudeva ki Jai! So today, by the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga, we began to celebrate the divine disappearance of Srila Jiva Gosvami by discussing his great contribution, the Shat Sandarbha, beginning with Tattva Sandarbha. So this morning we discussed that Srila Jiva Goswami has begun in his Mangala Charanam, in the beginning, to honor Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parsadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayet Yajanti Hi Sumeda Katasa Anta Krishnam Bahi Gauram. He is Krishna inside, and outwardly he is covered with the golden complexion of Srimati Radhika. Many persons, they cannot believe that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Okay? Krishna may be Bhagavan. I have read it in the Bhagavad Gita. But I have not seen anything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Bhagavad Gita. But there in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said to Krishna, Swami Vatmanatmanam Vetatvam Purushottama. Oh my Lord, the demigods and the demons, they cannot know you. But indeed, only you yourself know yourself by your internal potency. Only you can know you by your internal potency. So Krishna, he does not know himself fully. Why? Because he cannot fully taste his own beauty. Beauty is perceived according to the extent of our love. Kamsa Maharaj, he sees Krishna, oh, that is all, he is Yamaraj, death personified. Because he has no love. But the cowherd boys, they see, oh my Sakha, my dear friend, and Mother Yashoda, she has more love. She says, oh my love, oh my child. And gopis, they have more love. And out of all the gopis, Hey Prema Dore Nitya Radhika Ekale Amara Madhurya Amrita Ashwade Sakale. Krishna said, only Radhika, through the power of her frame, she can taste all of my sweetness fully. But I cannot do it. Krishna wanted. Krishna Ramaduri Krishna Upajay Lobh Sanyak Ashwaditi Nare Rahimanik Shobh. Krishna became greedy to relish his own sweetness when he saw his reflection in the jewels of Nava Vrindavan. But because he was greedy, but he could not relish his own sweetness. Because he's in the situation, the position of Vishai, the object of love. He will have to take the position of Ashway, the abode of love for himself. So Rahimanik Shobh, his own mind was disturbed. His own mind was depressed. He is Sachidananda Vigraha, full of Ananda. Raso Vaisaha, Sahivayam Laptanandi Bhavati. He is full of rasa, but not being able to know himself, relish himself, know his own beauty. Then, his own sweetness. Then, he felt unfulfilled. So, Swayameva Manatmanam Vetatvam Purushottama. Hey Purushottam. That is, Krishna is Leela Purushottam. Hey Leela Purushottam. Your avatar is Maryada Purushottam, Ramachandra. But you have another form, Prema Purushottam. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that form, by taking shelter of your internal potency, Radhika, you become Gaura. Anta Krishnam Bahi Gauram. And then you know yourself, how beautiful and sweet you are. So, yes, Raso Vaisaha. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, it said Supreme Lord is the embodiment of all rasa. But if you only say that Krishna Vrindavan is the supreme truth, then your idea of the Parabrahma, supreme truth, is only not fully Rasik Shekhar, only half Rasik Shekhar. Because half the rasa is relished by the object of love, Krishna, and the other half by the ashraya of love, Radhika. So, you can say that Krishna is Rasik Shekhar, but unless you accept that Krishna himself is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then your idea is only half Rasik Shekhar, so we can't accept it. Krishna is a Purna. Om Purnam Mada Punamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Punamadya Punameva Vasishyate. Krishna is complete. And so, to be Raso Vaisaha, the complete embodiment of Vishaya Jatiya Ras and Ashraya Jatiya Ras. In one form, he is Brajendanandan, Sham Sundar, and in another form, he is Sachinandan, Gaur Sundar. But same person. Chaitanya Lilamritasa Thara Shata Shatadha Dasadike Bahija Hoite Sadhu Guru Prasade Tharajay Aswade Sehi Chaitanya Lila Sarovara Akshaya Manohamsa Charahatahate. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pari is saying Chaitanya Lila Amrita, the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are the essence of Amrita, nectar. Tara Shata Shatadaya. And, the pastimes of Sri Krishna, they are like the essence of nectar, and they are flowing in 10 directions all at once. But where are these streams of Krishna Lila flowing from? Say Chaitanya Lila Hoi Sarovara Akshay. There is one reservoir, and this reservoir, Sarovara, is Akshay, inexhaustible. So even though in 10 directions the streams are flowing from this reservoir, they are flowing forever, and the reservoir is never depleted. So those streams flowing in 10 directions all at once, this is Krishna. Krishna Lila Marita Sa Tara Shata Shatada. Not 10 directions, hundreds and hundreds of directions. Shata Shata. So, and what is that reservoir from which all the Krishna Lila is coming? Chaitanya Lila. So, Manohamsa Charahata Hoite, oh my dear mind, become like a swan, always floating on the reservoir of Chaitanya Lila. So those who will enter into Gaura Lila, then easily, by his mercy, they will enter into Krishna Lila. If someone will sink into the Ganga in Navadvipa, Nidai Ghats, he will come up in Keshi Ghat in Vrindavan. Gaura Prema Rasanave Yetaranga Jevadube Say Radha Madhavantaranga. Srila Das Thakur said, if someone will sink in the ocean of Gaura Prem, then he will become the Antaranga Parikar, very intimate, internal associate of Radha Madhav. So our relationship with Mahaprabhu is only Dasya Bhav, not Madhurya Rasa. This idea is only Kauranganagaris. Don't follow this. His name is Mahaprabhu, the great Prabhu, Master. That indicates that we are all Das in relation to the Mahaprabhu. And his name is Mahaprabhu is because if you be related to him as Das and he is your Prabhu, then he'll give you Mahabhav, which is only Gopis. Only Gopis have Mahabhav. Some Prinama Sakas like Subal Jol, they can touch it a little bit. Not so much. But only Gopis have Rudabhav, Adi-Rudabhav, and so on. So, in the beginning, Srila Jiva Goswami has firmly established this point. Don't think Krishna is a great tattva and Mahaprabhu is something less, minimizing anyway. Sachisunam Nandishwarapati Sutattva Guru Param Mukunda Prastatram Param Yasam Sparamana. Oh my dear mind, always remember that the son of Sachi is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Same person, not another person. And he is relishing that part of rasa that he could not realize in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. He realizes in the Maha Sankirtan rasa in Navadvip Dham. So, then Srila Jiva Gosvami part, we discussed this morning, how he showed that the conditioned souls, they cannot know the truth because of their defects. And all the different methods, Nikila, Praman, Parischet, all the different types of methods of investigation to know the truth, they all fail. Only one is successful, Shabda Praman. And this Shabda Praman, meaning the Vedas, this is not, don't take this in a weak sense. The weak sense is, if you listen to the mantras of the Vedas or you read them, you can understand what they mean. So there are some words, they're in sentences, and these sentences have a meaning, and you intellectually understand that meaning. This is not what Shabda Praman means. This is not what Shabda Praman means. Shabda Praman means that when you are hearing, as you are hearing, that Sri Krishna himself is disclosed to your consciousness. That is called Spurti. Spurti. There is an internal vision of Sri Krishna as you are listening there and then. So, this is actually Shabda Praman. Otherwise, our Guru Parampara, it would be like Chinese whispers. Right? You know Chinese whispers? It's a game. Because you don't go to parties and play games, so you will never know. But I have heard from someone that someone whispers something in someone's ear and they whisper to someone else and they pass it around the room, and when it comes back, then the message has been changed. Just like in the First World War, there was not good communications. So there were some soldiers at the front. So the soldier at the front, he told the bombs were going off. It was very loud. So he told another soldier, send reinforcements, we're going to advance. So then that soldier ran over to the next trench and said, send reinforcements. What did you say? Oh, okay. And so then the next one, he took it to them. They were going back, and the message was going back miles to where the officers were and more soldiers. And then the last soldier arrived there. Send 3 and 4 pence. We're going to a dance. So this is if the tradition is passed down, only one person is speaking to another and one person is speaking to another, then how will the Guru Parampara maintain perfect knowledge? Along the way, someone will change something, they'll alter something, and gradually it will go off the track. So this can never be Guru Parampara. So Shabda does not mean I explain this to you and you intellectually understand it, and you explain it to someone else and he intellectually understands it. Shabda Praman means there is no difference. Jiva Goswami explains actually in the Mangala Charanam. Just after the Mangala Charanam, it's a tradition that you have to describe 4 things. It is called Anubandha Chatustai. Anubandha Chatustai. Chatustai means 4, and Anubandha means connections. There's some connection between 4 aspects of the text. Anubandha Chatustai. So, the first one is called Vishai, the subject. So here, the subject of the Sandarbhas is Sri Krishna. Vadanti tat-tattva vidastatvam yat jnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. The non-dual, absolute, conscious reality, which is experienced in gradually fuller stages as Brahman, Paramatma, and finally Bhagavan. This is the subject. Then the next thing is Sambandha. That means, what is the relationship between this text and the subject? So Jiva Goswami Pad said, this Sambandha is called Vacha Vachaka Sambandha. Vacha Vachaka Sambandha. The relationship between Vacha, that which is described, and the Vachaka, the words which are describing him. Vacha Vachaka Sambandha. However, the words of Srimad Bhagavatam and the words of Bhagavad Sandarbha which are describing Krishna in this Vacha Vachaka Sambandha is such that there is no difference between Vacha and Vachaka at all. Like Rupa Goswami said, Vacham Vachakam Vityudeiti Bhavato Nama Surupa Dvayam Purvasmat Parameva Antakaranam Tatra Vijnimahe Yastasvintri Vihitaparada Nivaha Pranit Samantaj Bhavat Asenidam Pasasopihi Sadanam Badam Budo Majjati. Rupa Goswami said, Oh Krishna, oh Nam, he's praying to the holy name. Oh Nam Prabhu, you have two swarups. Vachakam, that means this sound, Krishna. And Nam Prabhu, you have another swarup. Vacha, who is referred to by the name Krishna. That is Krishna himself in Vrindavan, playing a flute. It's very funny, Rupa Goswami is saying that Krishna in Vrindavan is a swarup of Nam. Understand? He doesn't say Nam is one swarup of Krishna. He's saying that Krishna is a swarup of Nam. Very powerful. Because he's the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but of these two swarups, one is more merciful than the other. They're exactly the same, but one is more merciful than the other. So what is that? Nam Prabhu. So Nam Prabhu and Krishna, they are not two things, they are one. But Nam Prabhu is more merciful. Because if you make some offense to the Swarupa of Krishna, he's here, Radharaman Lal is here. If you are serving him and you make some offense, it will make obstacles in your bhakti. But if you chant continuously, Nama Parada Yuktanam Nama Neva Harantigam, even you made some Nama Parada, but you chant continuously, then what will happen? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then Nam will turn you upside down, your feet are up, your head is down, and throw you into the ocean of rasa. You will not know what happened. Because Nam Prabhu is Upadravi. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said Upadravi. Upadravi means one who makes a big disturbance. Krishna is completely vexed. If he comes anywhere, it's chaos. So if you chant his holy name continuously, then Brajendra Nandan Sham Sundar will come into your heart and take away everything, all material existence, and his leela will begin. Wow, complete chaos. What will he do next? Very shocking, very surprising. Adbhut. This is the main ingredient of rasa. Krishna is the embodiment of rasa. And the main quality of rasa is what? Ascharya. It is adbhut, astonishing. So, here we're discussing in the beginning of Tattva Sandarbha, in explaining the Anubandha Chatustai, then the Sambandha is Vacha Vachaka Sambandha, that this very description of Krishna is Krishna. If you hear it from the lips of a pure devotee, as you are hearing, you will experience directly Sri Krishna. So, then the other, in the Anubandha Chatustai, then the others are, the other 2 points are Prayojan, the goal, and the Adhikar. So the goal is love for Krishna, which is attained through the direct experience of the Vacha Vachaka Sambandha, because we cannot see Krishna without love for Krishna. Premanjana Chirita Bhakti Vilochani. By the eyes of love, Krishna can be seen. So, then the last one is Adhikar. Adhikar means eligibility, qualification. In other words, for every book, there is a qualification that you need to be able to study it. So Jiva Goswami, he said that, this book, Tattva Sandarbhas, should only be studied by those persons who have no worldly desires, who desire only the Nitya Seva. of Sri Krishna. Only this. And if you don't want this, if you want other things, then don't study this Sandarbha. It will be very dangerous for you. He is practically giving a course. Don't touch this book. Go at once. There's the door. If you have material desires and you want to chase your worldly ambitions, the door is there. Leave now, otherwise it will be very dangerous for you. Okay, so no one's leaving, everyone's staying. But you've been warned. So generally, in the classical Anubandha Chatustai, there is the Vishay, the subject, the Sambandha, the Prayojan and the Adhikar. But Jiva Goswami actually gives the Vishay, Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojan. He gives these four, and then he gives Adhikar separately. Just a small technical point, but for completeness, we're telling this. So then, we discussed this morning how Jiva Goswami, he showed that among the Shabda Praman, the Vedas, it's very difficult to understand the meaning of the Vedas because only less than 6% are still available to us now. How many? There are 4 Vedas, and the 4 Vedas, each of the 4 Vedas are divided into 4 parts. Brahman, the Samhita portion, Brahman portion, Aranyaka portion, and Upanishad, correct. So, also, these were also divided into, these 4 portions are divided into so many parts. How many parts? Test. If you fail the test, then you have to pay a fine. 1,130. So how many Vedic literatures are there?
4,520.
Yes, 4,520. So, but less than 6% of these 4,520 Vedic literatures, Upanishads, Aranyakas, Samhitas and so on are left. And it's also very difficult to study them. And we discussed this morning how gradually, step by step, Srila Jiva Goswami built up the case that if we want to know the supreme truth, we just have to do one thing. What is that? Take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam so much with verses from other Shastras and from Bhagavatam itself. Dharmaha prajita kaitavat parano nidmatsranam satam Vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapa trayunguvanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikate Kimba Parayarishvara Sajoritya Vrutyat Kritibhi Susur Subis Tatchanat. This Srimad Bhagavatam kicks out all cheating religion. All religion which has ulterior motives. It can be understood only by those who are Paramoni Matsaranam Satam Paramahamsas, who are free from duality, who are free from envy, Icha and Dvesha, envy and attachment. Vedyam Vastavam, the Srimad Bhagavatam, it presents the absolute truth, distinguishing reality from illusion for the benefit of all. When one can distinguish between reality and illusion, then the tapatrai, the threefold miseries of material existence are uprooted completely. There's no other way to overcome the suffering of this world. So Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimba Para Ishvara. This Srimad Bhagavatam was manifest by Bhagavan himself. Sri Krishna has appeared in the form of Vyasadeva in order to manifest this Srimad Bhagavatam. Kimba Para Ishvara means what is the need of any other scripture? So Vyasadeva has written Kimba Para Ishvara. He who has written all the Shastras, he is saying Kimba Para Ishvara. What's the need of all the other scriptures? Sadyoritya Vruddet Kitibi Susrut Sabis Tatchanat. Immediately, Tatchanat. Immediately, there and then. Susrusubihi. When a person who has been purified by the sanskar, by the purification process of diksha, whose heart is neat and clean, if that person will just what to speak of here Srimad Bhagavatam, only he wants to hear it. So through Subhini, he wants to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Then immediately Sarbyo Tatchanat, in that very moment, Hridya-varudate-yatra, Krishna comes into the heart of that person. And then the door of the heart shuts. And Krishna cannot get out. And he's trapped there. Avarudha. He cannot get out. He's kept in your heart forever. So how is Krishna trapped? Only by Pranaya Rasayana. Dhritangri Padme. Sa Bhagavata Pradhan Uktaha. One becomes a Mahabhagavat. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then love comes and he becomes a Mahabhagavat. And then Krishna is trapped and he can never leave the heart of that devotee. So, here in this verse, Dharma Projita Kaitavo Atra. Atra means here. Sajori Dhyavarudate Atra. Atra means here. Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam here. So because the word here is 3 times, Atra, 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 that means only Srimad Bhagavatam has this power. There's no other scripture which is so powerful. Only you desire to hear it and Krishna comes right. Atra, Atra, Atra. Only Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Jiva Gosvami said, Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Srimad Bhagavatam isyate tatra samritasya nanyasya syadrati kochit. Quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi. Vedanta is the essence of the Vedas and this is the essence of Vedanta. Tatra samritasya. If a person has felt the satisfaction of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, what satisfaction? Rasa Amrita. The Amrita, the eternal nectar of Rasa. Then, Nanyasya Syadrati Kochit. That person will never want to taste any other scripture. He'll have no attraction for other things, only Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srila Jiva Goswami is establishing the supreme position of the Bhagavat again and again. Sarbhaved-etihasanam saram saram samudrita. He cannot keep up. He is putting all the verses on the screen. But it's coming too fast. Sarva-Veda-itihasanam saram saram samudritam. This is not the essence of the Vedas. This is saram saram, the essence of all the Vedas and the histories. So in this way, Jiva Goswami in great bliss, he is glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, in Tattva Sandarbha, he wants to establish, we have discussed the epistemology, that is Praman Tattva, evidence. But what does the evidence prove? That is called Prameya. So Praman is the evidence, and Prameya is what is proven by that evidence. So, Srila Jiva Goswami wants to show that Krishna is the Param Tattva. He is understood as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. That is the full understanding of Krishna. That the Jiva is his Mamaivangso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, his eternal, subjective, separated portion. Who is Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nityadas, Krishna Tatasa Shakti bheda-abheda-tattva. He is different but also non-different from Krishna. And Maya is also Krishna's energy. Maya is real. She's real. She's not an illusion. But when Maya acts on the Jiva is an illusion. Understand? So Maya is real, the Jivas are real, Krishna is real, everything is real. So, Srila Jiva Goswami, he's taking Praman from different acharyas, from Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya and others as well. to support the evidence of Srimad Bhagavatam. But Bhagavatam is independent. It does not depend on anyone else, but just to support that. He's quoting from others. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Diksha from Srila Ishwar Puri. He was disciple of Madhavendra Puri. He was disciple of Lakshmipati Tirtha, and he is a sannyasi in the line of Madhvacharya. So Madhvacharya's philosophy is called Tattvavad. Tattvavad. So the meaning of Tattvavad is Sarvam Vastu Satyam Iti Tattvavadaha. Sarvam Vastu Satyam Iti Tattvavadaha. All things are real. You see? Why? Because he's fighting against Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya's teaching is Mayavad. Everything is an illusion. So Madhvacharya came and said, no, everything is real. So Tattva, truth. Everything is, the Jivas are real, the Maya is real, and God is real. It is not only that there's Brahman, Nirvishesh Brahman, and the Jiva is illusion, and Bhagavan is illusion, Maya is illusion, and only Brahman exists. No. Tattva. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is a somewhat development of the Tattvavad of Madhvacharya. So it is called, it is still a Tattva, but Achintya bheda-abheda-tattva. Achintya, Madhvacharya's put emphasis on the difference, the Dvaita, the duality, eternal differences between God, Brahman and Jiva, Brahma and Maya, Jiva and Jiva, Maya and Jiva, Maya and Brahma. So there are 5 types of difference Madhvacharya put emphasis on. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught in accordance with the Vedic aphorism, Shakti Shakti Matayo Abhed. Shakti and Shaktiman are non-different. So he has taught that the living entities and Maya, they are different and also non-different, simultaneously. And that is due to the Achintya Shakti of the Lord, His inconceivable potency. So this will be developed in more detail later in Bhagavad Sandarbha. Now, in order to remove the confusion of impersonalism, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, they have tried to explain, and they have explained nicely, the Prastantrayi. Because there's a tradition in India that if you want to establish your idea, then you should establish it on the basis of 3 things. That is called Prastantrayi. Bhagavad Gita, the 10 main Upanishads, 12 main Upanishads, and Vedanta Sutra. So Shankaracharya commented on these. Jiva Gosvami in Tattva Sandarbhas said, Shankaracharya did not comment on Srimad Bhagavatam because Shankaracharya is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. And he had so much respect for Srimad Bhagavatam that he didn't want to distort its meaning. But he's commented on the 10 main Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and the Vedanta Sutra, the Prastantrayi. And other acharyas later, they would comment on these, and they would also quote from Shankaracharya and prove line by line how he's wrong. Now, our Gaudiyas for some hundreds of years, we did not have a direct sutra by sutra explanation of Vedanta. Why? Because we take that Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasadev's own explanation of Vedanta. So what is the need? Now, the speciality of this Tattva Sandarbha of Jiva Goswami is that he is not going to comment on the Prastantrayi to establish the absolute truth. He's left all that Vedas, Vedanta, everything, and he's focusing just on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of rasa. Pipat Bhagavatam rasamalaya muruha rasika bhuvi bhavuka. So he's focusing on this. And instead of refuting line by line the words of Shankaracharya, he's taking another angle. And that angle is, what is the anubhav, the realization Vyas, Srila Vyasadeva. And the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Gosvami. Because you can even misinterpret verses of Bhagavatam. Kaivalyaika Prayojan, the supreme goal is Kaivalya. So it's possible to misinterpret verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, but we can know that we have understood Srimad Bhagavatam properly if we look at what was the internal experience of Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva and Shukadeva Goswami, because that has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. So as you know, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a history. Very high in the Himalayas, in Badrik Ashram, Shamyaprash Ashram, on the bank of the Saraswati. One morning, Srila Vyasadeva, he got up very early and he took bath and then he sat down and began to meditate. But he was feeling dissatisfied. He has divided the Vedas into 4. He has given the Itihasa, Mahabharata, and within that Bhagavad Gita, he has given Vedanta Sutra. But still, his heart is not feeling satisfied. This is the proof that all these scriptures, they cannot fully satisfy one. And just he was thinking, why am I feeling insufficient? Is it because I have not dived deeply into the nectar of Krishna's Leela? Anywhere in these texts, he had this suspicion that this was the cause. And he wanted to, because he had himself not entered into that. He wanted to enter into, and his heart was hankering for something more. So this is a principle in life. You know that Jesus Christ said, knock, and the door will be open. So here Srila Vyasadeva is showing, when his heart was feeling insufficient and he needed something more, something higher, sweet, a mystery that himself he was not yet able to enter into. Then what happened? As he was sitting there meditating, then Jai Jai Radha appeared there, flying, and he landed. Srila Vyasadeva gave pranam to his Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, and offered him a seat and some water, and very patiently sat before his Gurudev. His Gurudev knew his heart. He said, "Oh, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Can a person be satisfied by accepting the body as the self?" No. So then Vyasadeva, he prayed to Narada Muni. Just see, in your life, when you want to go more deeply, really, if you are sincerely hankering for Sri Krishna service, then Sri Krishna is very kind. Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru and open the door to the secrets that were not open to you. Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva said, "O Gurudev, Tvam pariyatam ak ivati lokim antastaru vayo ivatma shakshi paravare brahmani dharmato vratai nyunam snatasya nyunam me vichakshva snatasya nyunam me yalam vichakshva." O Gurudev, just like the sun sees everything in the universe, so you travel everywhere in the universe, you see everything outwardly. Antacharo Vayur, and as Pran is moving internally, you are like the Paramatma Supreme Lord also in the heart, and you see everything internally. Gurudev, you see everything outwardly and also inwardly. So please, even though I have done hard bratas, and I have written all about Brahma, how to realize Brahma, but still I am feeling insufficient. So please, Vichakshva, Alam Vichakshva, thoroughly explain to me, May Nyunam, what is lacking in me. Narmuni said, Bhavatanudita Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yanivaso Natusyeta Manye Tad Darshanam Kilam. He said, you have hardly at all described the beautiful sweet pastimes of Sri Krishna. You have said something, but hardly anything really. And only Krishna will be satisfied by your writing these pastimes. And because Krishna is not satisfied, you are not satisfied. So Manye Tad Darshanam, I think that your darshan, Vedanta darshan, is kilam. That means insufficient. Something is lacking there. So then Narad Rishi, he gave blessings to Vyasadeva, and he gave mantra to Vyasadeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudeva. Sankarshanaya cha. I am not going to give Diksha to everyone. So he gave this mantra Diksha, and he told Vyasadeva, you should go into Samadhi. So then Narada Muni left, and Srila Vyasadeva, he went into Samadhi. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranhite male apasyat purusham purnam mayam chattar pashrayam. And when Srila Vyasadeva pranhite means that he completely stopped all movements of his chitta. Every movement of his mind was completely arrested. Bhakti yogena manasi. And by the power of Bhakti yoga, then apasyat purusham purnam, he saw the Purna Purush. Oh, you can do it? Make it. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male. Of everything. I'm saying it. Bhagavad. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male. So he went into trance, he stopped his mind, not like today. Many devotees, they try to agitate their mind. I have to imagine so many things. Only trying to imagine material things is not transcendental realization. One should just become absorbed in mantra. And then this mantra, when the mind becomes completely still, then the mantra will manifest everything. And Vyasadeva saw automatically, spontaneously. Krishna Lila is Swapakash, self-manifest. It is Nitya, eternal reality. It can't be touched by any speculation. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranhite. So, Vyasadeva, he saw manifest, the self-manifest Leela of Sri Krishna, everything. How he was born in Gokul. How when he was baby, he was stealing butter. How Mother Yashoda bound him with a rope. How he pulled down Yamal Arjun trees. How he killed and liberated Putana, Trinavarta, Shakatasur, Bakasur, Agasur and others. How he danced on the head of Kaliya. How he lifted Giraj Govardhan. How he played his flute on the full moon night of the Sharad season and all gopis came running to meet with him and see Krishna. We cannot say that Krishna did Rasa Leela. The Rasa Leela did Krishna. Rasutsavaha sampravito gopi mandala manditaha Yogeshwarena Krishnena tasammadhye dvayo. Shukdev Goswami does not say Krishna has done Rasa Leela. He said then the Rasa Leela manifests. And Krishna was just an instrument in that. Yogeshwarena Krishnena. So even Krishna cannot do Rasa Leela. But the Rasa Leela manifests. The Prem manifests and makes him dance. Krishna Ranachaya Prem, Bhakta Ranachaya, Abhirinachaya, Tina Nachaya Katai. Prem makes Krishna dance. Prem makes the devotee dance, and Prem itself dances. All three dance together. So you think by your material mind you can do the remembrance of Rasa Leela. Even Krishna cannot do Rasa Leela. What to speak of your material mind? No, there is a Prem Prakash. The Prem manifests this Leela. And Krishna himself is not the doer. He becomes only instrument. Oh, what's happening to me? I don't know. And he dances again. So, Vyasadeva went into trance and experienced all of this. How one day a Krura came and took Krishna to Mathura. And all Mathura Leela and Dwaraka Leela, everything. And here it said, Apasya Purusham Purnam. He saw the Purusham Purnam, complete. So you cannot be a complete Purush if you don't have Shakti. Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur used to say that you have to worship Krishna with Radha. Otherwise your so-called worship, what you worshiping, this is a Klip Tattva. Klip Tattva. That means eunuch. Your Ishtar is eunuch. Because he has no Shakti. So, he saw Avasat Purusham Purnam, that means the Purush is only Purna when he is with Purna Shakti Shrimati Radharani. Manchatar Vasrayam, and he also saw Maya. And Maya was shy to come in front of Krishna. She was staying at a distance. And Srila Vyasadeva saw the Jivas, all the souls, millions of souls, countless souls. They were under the control of Maya and wandering here and there aimlessly, like foolish, blind people, going here and there, shopping. He saw how all the living entities were suffering in Maya. So then, Anatopasamam Sakshat Bhakti Yoga Madoksaje Lokasya Janato Vidvans Chakre Saptata Samhitam. It means Vyasadeva realized that the anarthas, the unwanted desires, the ignorance of the living entities could be removed simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And so, Srila Vyasadeva then what he realized, then he dictated it to Ganesh and it was written down, it became Srimad Bhagavatam. So Yasham Vai Shurmanayam, next verse, Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Utpadite Pungsa Shokamoha Vayapaha. Simply by giving the aural reception, just by patiently, submissively hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, then what happens? The bhakti manifests, self-manifests in the heart and takes away all bhaya, all fear, shok, all lamentation and all illusion. So, Srila Vyasadeva, this is what he realized. He realized that Krishna is real, the Jivas are real, and Maya is real. The Jivas are under the control of Maya, and Maya is under the control of Krishna. Therefore, there's no way for the Jivas to get out of Maya unless they surrender to the master of Maya. Daivi yasha gunamayi mama maya dharatya maiva ye prapadyante mayamaitam tarantite. So, this was Srila Vyasadev's realization. So Jiva Goswami, instead of going through a step-by-step refutation of all the statements of Shankaracharya on the Bhagavad Gita, on the Upanishads, and on the Vedanta Sutra, he's saying, look, the person who has manifested, compiled all the Vedas, in his maturity, when he was not fully satisfied, he became fully satisfied by going into trance. And when he went into trance, he said, Aham Brahmasmi, it's all one. No. He didn't say that. He did not say, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, everything is Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma. What Shankaracharya calls the Mahabhakti, he didn't say anything. What did he say? He said, Gopi Biyasto Vito Nitya. Bhagavan Balavat Kochit, Udgayati Kochin Muktas, Tarvaso Tarayantavat. That Parabrahma, the Supreme Absolute Truth. When the gopis of Vrindavan say, oh, if you do a dance, I'll give you a laddu. Then he's dancing. And then they give him sweet. This is what Vyasa said. He did not say, Brahmasmi. Everything is an illusion. Vyasadeva said, Na parinam nirabadya samyudyam swasadu krityam vibudayusha apiva. Yam mahabajan durjaya geya sanklas vrishitadva pratiyatu sadhana. That Parabrahma is like a young boy, very beautiful, sweet, teenage lover, and with tears in his eyes, he's telling his sweetheart, Srimati Radhika, oh, I cannot repay you. Even if I served you every day for 311 trillion years, a life of Lord Brahma, then even I could not repay you for even one of the services that you have done for me, because you have broken the shackles of household life, you have transgressed all dharma, you have neglected your own happiness in this life and in all future lives, only to serve me. I am indebted to you forever. I cannot repay you. Only the joy that you experience by having such love is the payment for having such love. This is what Vyasa saw. So, then Srila Jiva Goswami, he gives another example. The example of Shukadeva Goswami. Because Shukadeva Goswami, from his very birth, he was absorbed in Brahman. The oneness. Non-differentiation at all. Only self-awareness of the soul, but without any characteristics. No features at all. He was beyond the illusion of this world. He has no attachment or aversion. His consciousness is so fixed in Brahman, nothing can disturb him. So, that Shukadeva Goswami, he was in the womb of his mother for many years, but he would not come out. Srila Vyasadeva said, you're giving so much trouble to your mother, can you please come out? Shukadeva said, no. If I come out, then maybe I'll go in Maya. So I just want to be here and meditate on Brahman. Srila Vyasadeva said, look, I promise you, if you come out, you will not be in Maya. Shukadeva Goswami said, I cannot accept your promise because you are married. And I have your son. So, this is Mayavadi this. Vaishnavas, the Mayavadis think. But Brahmavadis, they think like that. Mayavadis also, but Brahmavadis can't. So then, he said, I don't accept. So then, whose promise will you accept? He said, if Krishna will come personally and give me a guarantee that I will not go in Maya, then I will accept. So he was not Mayavadi, like Shankacharya, that is offensive. But Brahmavadi means they are attached to the experience of the oneness of Brahman. So then Krishna, Vyasadeva prayed and Krishna came and said, I bless you that when you come out, you will not be overwhelmed by Maya. So then Krishna went away, and then Shukadeva Goswami came, 16 years old, grown, completely naked, but he was absorbed in Brahman. He does not know if he is wearing clothes or not wearing clothes. He has no idea. And he came out, and immediately he walked to the door and went outside, and Vyasadeva was saying, come back, come back. So the disciple Shukadeva Goswami in Srimad Prayojan, he says, Yam praprajantamanopaitamapita krityam dvaipayano parakatarayajuhava putra iti tanmayatayo taravo vinedus tangsavabhut hridayam munimaratos. I bow down to my Gurudev Shukadeva Goswami. Sutra Goswami is saying. My Gurudev Shukadeva Goswami is such that Yam praprajantam, he became Paravrajak. Like a sannyasi wandering everywhere. When? The moment he was born. Anupaitam-apaita krityam. If you're born, there have to be so many sanskars. Navichedan sanskar. You have to have the first grain sanskar, namkaran sanskar, ear-piecing sanskar. There are so many. And then initiation, diksha, upanayan sanskar. So according to the Vedas, you have to undergo all of these rituals. But yam pravajatam anupaitam apaita krityam, with no rituals, with no sanskars at all. He just left home. Dvaipayano Bharakatara Ajuava, and his father, Dvaipayan Vyasadeva, he felt so much separation. Putraiti tanmayatayo tarano binedu. And Vyasadeva was calling, Ha Putra, oh my son, and running after him as he was going into the forest. But Shukadeva, he just disappeared into the forest. Oh, as Shukadeva was going, there were some ladies, young ladies, they were bathing in the river naked. And Shukadeva Goswami came by. They did not cover themselves, because they saw, he's not even seeing us. Then Vyasadeva came, and when Vyasadeva was running, trying to catch him, then those young girls, they covered themselves. Srila Vyasadeva says, I am old enough to be your great-grandfather. I have a very long wife beard. And my son is like your age, and also naked. When he came, you were not shy, but seeing me, you became shy. How is it possible? They said, because when we saw him, we understood that for him there is no difference between lakri and larki. Larki means a girl, and lakri means a dry piece of firewood. If you sit down next to a dead piece of firewood, or if you sit down next to a naked woman, same. No difference. Because he has no external vision even of the world. Only he is absorbed in Brahman. This is the position of Shukadeva. No attachment, no aversion, no Maya is touching him at all. So then Srila Vyasadeva could not find him, so he went home. And he was thinking, how can I catch him? Oh my son, Taravo Bineus. When Vyasadeva was calling, my son, Shukadeva Goswami did not answer, oh my father. Who gave the answer? Taravo. The trees. Oh my son, were making fun. They were criticizing Vyasadeva. Oh my son, he was saying, oh my son, oh my son. What are you saying, oh my son? Who is son, who is father? We are souls in this world. You are born in one family for a few moments, and then you die, and then you go in another family, and another family you have been the son and the daughter of millions of persons, and they have been your sons and daughters and everything. These relations are not real. It's like getting on the carriage of a train, and you ride for a few stations. Some people were already on the train, and before you arrive at yours, they get off. And then you arrive and as you're going along, some others get on, and then you get off and they stay. So family is like that. You are born, that means you're in a carriage. Mother, father, brothers, sisters. While you're there, some other brothers and sisters join. They are born. And then someone dies. Then in the end, then you die. And then you get on another carriage. So you are Vyasadeva. You are the compiler of all the Vedas. Why are you saying, my son, my son? This is only illusion. So the trees became the guru of Vyasadeva. So Sutta Goswami part saying, why? Because my guru, Shukadeva Goswami, is in the heart of every living being. So he's saying, because the disciple sees my Guru Dev is everywhere, seeing everything, and he's teaching me through everyone. So only by the glance of Shukadeva Goswami, the trees became enlightened and gave lessons in Vedanta to Vyasadeva. My Guru Dev is so great. Sutta Goswami is praying like this. So, but Vyasadeva, actually, he was not attached to his son. He was not attached to his son. You see, Vyasadeva had compiled before Vedas and given to his 4 disciples. He gave Samaveda to Jaimini Rishi, then to Paila Rishi, Sumanta Rishi, and Angira he gave the Yajurveda, Rigveda, Tavaveda. But now, by the mercy of Narad Muni, he had realized Srimad Bhagavatam. To whom will he give Srimad Bhagavatam? He was thinking of a qualified person. And he thought, oh, this person, he is qualified to receive Srimad. So he wasn't running, oh my son, due to material attachment. But out of mercy to him and to the whole world. So then Srila Vyasadeva came up with a plan. He told his disciples, oh, come here. He had some disciples. He said, listen to me. Bhapidam natavarabapu kanayoka nikaram bibratbasa kanakakapisham vajayantim chamalam randrandreno adarasudaya purnayango pabrinde brindaranyam supadaramanam pravisargita kirti. Memorize this verse and go into the forest and sing. So then the disciples of Vyasa went out to the forest and they were singing Bhapidam natavarabapu. Bhapida means decorated with the peacock feather. Natavarabapu. His body is decorated like a Natavara. Just like when there's a Vedic drama, then before the drama takes place, then a very beautiful young boy and young girl, fully decorated with so many ornaments and cosmetics, they come onto the stage to attract the attention and focus the attention of the audience before the drama begins. So that young man is called Natavara. So Krishna is Natavara Papuhu. Now someone may say, when you compare one thing with another, then the thing with which you are comparing it is superior. So how can you say Krishna, who is more beautiful than anything else, he is like Natavara, because that would make the Natavara superior. So that cannot be the meaning, Natavara Bapu. So the meaning is this: every part of his body was Natavara. In other words, his garland was swinging and dancing, and it attracts your attention. And you forget everything else, only the garland. When gopis, then his earrings are swinging. Then they only see the beauty of his earrings. Then his Pitambara, his cloth is moving Natabara. His fingers on Natabara, on the holes of his flute. Everything is like a Natabara. Attractive. Karniyo Karnikaram. He has a Karnikara flower on his ear. He's surrounded by his friends and entering into the forest. So as they were singing this, Shukadeva was in the forest and he heard. And he became amazed. And he came running. He said, tell me more. I want to know more. So they said, okay, wait. Then they went home. And they told Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva said, you see someone in the forest? They said, yes. We saw one young man, very beautiful, with lotus eyes, completely naked. And hearing this verse, you came running. Srila Vyasadeva thought, oh, my plan is working. So Vyasadeva taught them another verse. Aho bakiyam stanakala glutam jigansayapaya dapyasadvi labei gatin datta chittam tatamyam kamvadailum shanam brajeva. After Krishna had left this world, Uddhava was crying. And he said, oh, everyone has to surrender to someone. You have no choice. You have to surrender to your family members, to your teacher, to your employer, or to the king, to the government, or you have to surrender to the demands of the senses, you have to surrender to sleep and to hunger, and you have to surrender to old age and to death. No one can avoid surrender. Many things are out of our control and forced upon us. So where will you go for shelter? So Uddhava saying, oh, who will not take shelter of Sri Krishna? Who is so merciful that when Putana came full of envy to poison him when he was a baby, but he liberated her and gave her position as a nursemaid in Golok. Is anyone so kind? Kind person may give something. But Krishna gave himself forever to the person who wanted to kill him when he was just a tender baby. How merciful. So then those students went out in the forest, they were singing Ahom Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam. And then Shukadeva heard this. In the first verse he heard about the beauty of Krishna's roop, his form. And now he heard about Krishna's gun. So realization of Krishna does not come all at once. It's very foolish. Persons who have no realization, they're trying to meditate on Leela. The result is nothing. Only you remember your own samskars and pastimes. First, the realization of Krishna's roop comes. Then Krishna's gun, qualities. Then Krishna's associates. Then your swarup and seva. And then the Yogapit Leela. And then Swarasiki, Astakali Lila, like this, in stages. When we're discussing the Sandarbhas, when we come to Bhakti Sandarbha, then Srila Jiva Gosvami will explain all of this in detail. Nowadays there's chaos and confusion everywhere because the devotees, many devotees in our Sampradaya, they are not educated in the teaching of our Sampradaya as it was presented by Srila Jiva Goswami. So first he realized Krishna's beautiful form, and then Krishna's qualities manifest in the heart. And he said to those students of Vyasadeva, oh, from where did you learn this? They said, come with us. And they brought him back to the ashram where Srila Vyasadeva was waiting. My plan worked. And now Shukadeva Goswami, he came home, and then Srila Vyasadeva began to teach him all Srimad Bhagavatam. So Jiva Goswami quotes this verse, Atma Ramas Chamuneyo Negranta Apyarukrame Korvanta Vaitakim Bhaktim Itam Bhuta Gano Hari. The great sages, Munis, and Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the soul, who have no attachment to this world, Negranta Apyarukrame. Negranta means scripture. They are beyond the scriptures. They are liberated souls. They don't have to follow any rules and regulations. And Grantha can also mean the false ego, the knot in the heart. So Shukadeva Goswami was near Grantha. He has no false ego, no body identification at all. He is Mukta Purush, liberated. Nothing of the material world can attract him, but he became attracted to the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because the Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna and his qualities, it proves that they are not of this material world. You see, Mayavadi thinks that any form, any qualities, any personality, any speciality must be material. But Jiva Goswami is presenting the case of Shukadeva Goswami. He was already liberated from everything material, but his heart became captured by something that must be superior to Brahman. Someone said, well, I like Brahman. It's my personal choice. Alright. But the life, the realization of Shukadeva Goswami proves that Krishna, the realization of Bhagavan, see Krishna, it is far, far superior to the realization of Brahman. So, Srila Vyasadeva, he quotes many verses in this regard. Sorry, Jiva Goswami in this Sandarbhas. He says that Shukadeva Goswami spoke about his own experience. He said, Parinishthitopi nargunya uttama Parinishthitopi nargunya uttama shloka leelaya grihita chaita rajashe akhyanam yadaditavam. If someone will ask Shukadeva Goswami, you are already a liberated person, you don't need anything. Why did you spend so much time and effort to study 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam? It's a very big endeavor to do for someone who doesn't need anything. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Parinishthitopi nargunya, even though I was fixed in the nirgun state, beyond three goodness. Uttama shloka leelaya. These pastimes of Krishna, Uttama Shloka, who is very sweet and very merciful. Then, Grihita Chaita Raja say, Oh Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, my heart was captured by the sweet pastimes of Krishna. Akhyanam yadaditavam. Therefore, I studied this Srimad Bhagavatam. His heart was fully captured. Now, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad wants to establish the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam by establishing the greatness of the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami. When King Parikshit was out hunting one day, he became very thirsty. So he came to the ashram of Shamik Rishi and said, oh, can you give me some water? But Shamik Rishi was sitting in meditation, he was in a trance, so he could not even hear him. Parikshit Maharaj thought this Rishi is pretending not to hear me. He's disrespecting me. So then with his bow he picked up a dead snake and put it around his neck, like a garland. And then he went away. Then Sringi Rishi, the young Brahmin son of Shamik Rishi, he came. Oh, who has disrespected my father? And he was crying. Then his father opened his eyes and he saw the snake and he just threw it. And he said to his son, why are you crying? He said, because you are being insulted. And I could not tolerate that you had been insulted. So, that young boy took his Brahmin thread and he broke it and made a curse. Who has done this to you? He should die in 7 days. Oh, then Shamik Rishi was not pleased. What have you done? Even the boy was crying. He was crying because he rashly, out of anger, in the moment, he cursed the king to die. And he knew in his heart it was not right. So that is also why he was crying. So then his father sent news to Parikshit Maharaj, oh, you will die in 7 days. Parikshit Maharaj thought, very good. I was looking for an excuse to get out of my responsibilities. He was the emperor of the world. He has so many queens and so many palaces and responsibility for the whole world. And he was thinking, how can I get out of this? Okay, this is a good excuse. So he took off his crown and all his armor and everything. And in very simple cloth, he went to the bank of the Ganga. So when he arrived there, it was a great miracle that from all over the universe, great sages appeared there. Gautam Rishi, but in the Brigu Rishi, Parasara Rishi, Vashishtya, Vishwamitra, Asita, Devala, all the great rishis from the earth and from other planets, they all gathered there. Vyasadeva came also, Parishuram, Narada Muni, and Parikshit Maharaj. He asked, what is the supreme, exclusive duty of all living beings, and especially of one who is about to die? So when he asked this question, no one was ready to give him an answer. And just at that moment, there was some disturbance. Some women and children were laughing. Some children were throwing stones and dust. And one young man, very beautiful with lotus eyes and completely naked, he was walking in this direction, and the village children were throwing dust on him and laughing. What is this naked person walking around? But as he approached the rishis could see he has all the characteristics of a Mahapurush. They could see his divine blazing effulgence. And all the rishis stood up and folded hands. Seeing this, those women and children became afraid and they left him. And the rishis offered a seat, and Shukadeva Goswami came, and then he sat there. He looked like the moon, surrounded by the stars. And he was selected, you will be the one who will answer the question of Parikshit Maharaj. What should one do what is the main duty for everyone to do? Hear the pastimes of Krishna. So he will explain. And when Shukadeva Goswami began to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, then even though his guru was there, Srila Vyasadeva, even though Narada Muni, the guru of his guru, was there, Vyasadeva is an incarnation of Bhagavan. Parishuram was there, he is also a Shaktivesh avatar of Bhagavan. But when they listened to Shukadeva Goswami speaking, Nigama kalpataro galitam palam Shukamukaramrita javasamyutam Pibat bhagaratam rasamalayam Murvahu rasikavu vibhavukaha. When Shukadeva Goswami spoke, just as a fruit has the first bite of a fruit, there's some bitterness in the surface. But if the fruit has been pecked by the beak of a parrot, then it becomes sweet. So in the same way, though Narad and Vyas, they knew Bhagavatam, but when it was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami, even his guru and the Param Gurudev, they thought, we have never heard anything like this before in our life. So all accepted Shukadeva Goswami as their guru. So Srila Sutta Goswami said, Ya swanu bhavam akila sutisaramekam adhyatma deepa utitisti satam tamandam samsarinam karunayeya purana goyam tam vyasa sunam upayami gurum muninam Ya swanu bhavam akila sutisaramekam. First canto. It is the Mangala Charanam actually, Sutta Goswami is praying to his guru. He's saying that I bow down and worship Vyasa Sunum, the son of Vyasadeva, Shukadev Goswami. Guru Muninam, he was the guru of all the munis. Even he became on that day like the guru of Vyasa and Narada and Parashuram, everyone. Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Gautam. Gautam Rishi has written Nyaya Shastra. Kapil, Patanjali, and their followers, all the munis who were following the different Sandarshans, they all accepted him as their guru. What does it mean? That means that what he taught was superior to all of those Sandarshans. Yeah, this. Yaswana Bhava Makila Sutisaram Ekam. And Shukadev Goswami, he spoke. This Srimad Bhagavatam is called Yaswanu Bhavam Akila Sutisaram Ekam. Ekam means one, it's unique. Srutisaram, it is the essence of the Vedas. Akila, of all the Vedas. And it is Swanubhavam. That means that the Srimad Bhagavatam has its own inherent Shakti to manifest itself in your heart. Just by hearing the pastimes of Krishna manifest. Jaswana Bhava Makila Sutitar Ekam. Adhyatma Deep. This Srimad Bhagavatam is like a spiritual lamp. So when you hear it, it illuminates your heart. It destroys all ignorance and transports one across the ocean of material existence. Samsarinam karunayaya purana guyam. So Vyasadeva, the guru of all the munis, he spoke this Purana Guyam, means secret Purana. That means the Purana itself is full of confidential lila, rahasya, confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So, Karunayaha means he spoke it, how? Out of Karuna, out of mercy. Why? Because Shukadev Goswami has such deep praying for Radha and Krishna. Then how could he speak without Nainam Kaladasudarya Vadanam Gadgadarudayagya? His voice will be choked and he will not be able to speak. If Shukadev Goswami's love for Srimati Radhika is so powerful that if Shukadev Goswami will only say the two syllables, Radha, then he'll faint for 6 months. This is why directly he has not said the name of Radha, but he said everything indirectly. Because if he will openly say it is nectar, the nectar of Radha Nam, then he will faint for 6 months, and Parikshit Maharaj only has 7 days to live. So it will be a big disaster. So, therefore, the Karuna Shakti of Krishna came and entered into him and gave him the Darya Dharan Shakti, that means the power to hold his patience. Describing Raslila, he would faint. But the Karuna Shakti came in him and kept him in outer consciousness that he could speak. And you can see, when Shukadev Goswami is describing Brahmar Gita, he's describing Brahmar Gita, 10 verses, how Radharani is talking with the bumblebee. Madhupakitava bando, masprisangrin sapadnya, kuchabelalita mahala, kunkumas masrubina, bahatumarupatistan maninam prasadam, yarusarasiditamyam yasidutastamitrik. And he's describing the beautiful ecstasies of Radharani as she's criticizing the bumblebee just for being friends with Krishna. You are black and he is black. You are fickle, you go and taste the nectar from one flower to another. So he's saying he tastes one gopi, another gopi. And just like the bumblebee becomes intoxicated with the nectar of the flowers, he loses discrimination. And then he goes to a flower that has no nectar. So Krishna, he's left us beautiful gopis and now gone to tasteless kubja in Mathura, where there's no rasa at all. So she's criticizing the bumblebee. in so many ways. And Radhika's bhav is going higher and higher. And then in the end, Pujo Aguru Sugandam Murjadastakkadanyo. Radhika said, oh, when will Krishna, whose hand is fragrant like agur, when will he come back and place his hand on my head and promise me? Oh Radhika, I went all over the world to so many countries and even other planets. And I met with beautiful women everywhere. I met with the daughters of kings and the daughters of nagas and devas and all species. But none of them can love me like you. So now I've come back and I'll never leave you again. When will Krishna come and promise me that he will not leave? And Radhika fainted. Shukadeva Goswami is telling this. And then the chapter ends. And then the next chapter he's speaking about Mathura and Kubja. Why? Because whenever Shukadeva Goswami, his ecstasy went so high that he was about to fall unconscious, then the Karuna Shakti would come and then distract his mind and take him to another subject. So this is why you see the chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, they don't always go in order. Because sometimes the Karuna Shakti has to come and distract him and take him somewhere else. Otherwise he'll drown too much in the rasa. So samsarinam karunayaha purana goyam tam vyasa sunam upayami gurum munina. I bow down to that. Shukadeva Goswami. Everywhere in Srimad Bhagavatam it says Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri Sukha means that he is very beautiful. Sri. When Shukadeva Goswami is describing the Nandotsav, the birth of Krishna, at that time Nanda Maharaj is so happy. And there's a big celebration and all the Brijvasis are dancing and throwing yogurt everywhere. Jio Shamalala, Jio Shamalala. On the floor because it's everywhere. Do you know there was one devotee named Srinivasa Acharya? So one day Srinivasa Acharya, he went into trance and he saw the holy lila of Radha and Krishna, how they were throwing color. And then later when Srinivasa Acharya came out from his trance, there was a red color on his cloth. From his trance it manifests outside. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, everywhere is written, Sri Shuka Uvacha. So when Shukadeva Goswami is describing the birth of Krishna and the Nandotsav, the celebration of Nanda Maharaj, he's Sri Shuka Uvacha. He becomes so beautiful because he's seeing everything in his trance and the yogurt is appearing on his face and in his hair as he's speaking. This is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. It manifests realization. And that realization even coming out on the body of Shukadeva Goswami. When Shukadeva Goswami is describing the Rasa Leela, Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri means his beautiful wife because his hairs are standing on him. Tears are flowing from his eyes, he's trembling, he's overwhelmed with sattvic bhavs. Shukadeva Goswami said, Nishamya Geetam Tadananga Vardanam Vajastriya Krishna Grihita Manasa Ajagmo Anyonyam Alakshit Udyamaha Saryatta Kanto Javalola Kundalaha. Krishna played his flute in the full moon night at Bakshi Bhat in Vrindavan. Then Nishamya, hearing that flute. Shamya, Nishamya means only a little bit. Even hearing one note. Tadananga Vardhanam. Then the influence of Cupid, Kamadev, the desire to serve Krishna as his lovers, Ananga Vardhanam, rose up in the gopis' hearts. Brajastya Krishna Grihita Manasa. And the sound of the flute came like a thief. The thief does not come through the front door, he goes through the side door. So the thief of Krishna's flute went into the ear of gopis and then entered into the house to the treasury room where all the jewels were there. Their lajja, their shyness, their darya, their patience, their lokalajja, their fear of the criticism of society. All the jewels of a young woman, the sound of Krishna's flute stole it. And then quickly ran back to his master. Because if there's a mafia, then the boss of the mafia does not do the stealing. He stays where he is. And his soldiers, they go and they do the stealing. So Krishna's flute went and did the stealing and then brought all the goods back to his boss. So the flute took all the jewels from the heart of the gopis. So Brajastya Krishna Grihita Manasa and brought them all back and gave the hearts of gopis to Krishna. Now Krishna owns their hearts. So the gopis immediately got up. Ajagmo, Anyanya, Alakshitodyama. They got up and without waiting for their sakhis. Usually if a gopi goes anywhere, she'll get together with a friend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friends, and they'll go together. But there's no time. The influence of Cupid is so powerful. Just hearing one note, cling, one note of Krishna's flute, and they are running there. But then Alakshita, not seen by anyone else and not seeing each other. Running, and as they're running, they gradually, Shukadev Goswami said, Sa yatra kanto javalola kundalaha. They arrived. Yatra means there, in that place, but it means close by. In Sanskrit there are two words, yatra and tatra. So yatra means over here and tatra means over there. So Shukadeva Goswami, they arrived here. How? Javalola kundalaha, with their earrings. As the gopis arrived, Krishna saw them coming. And as they arrived, then they stopped and the earrings were trembling. Why are gopis' earrings trembling? Because gopis thought, the earrings are thinking that Krishna very easily stole all the jewels which were kept secretly in gopis' hearts. So these jewels, the earrings were on the outside, then how easily he will steal us. So the earrings were trembling in fear. And they were also trembling because they knew that in the loving pastimes in the Nikunj, then Radha and Krishna's necklaces, waist belts, everything all get broken and scattered here and there. Their pearls are going up here, there, all over the flowers and underneath. So the earrings were thinking, now there'll be one Kama Yuddha love battle and we'll get smashed. So the earrings were trembling out of fear. So Shukadeva Goswami said, Sayatra Kanto, they arrived there where their lover was waiting. But he never said they arrived Tatra, they arrived Yatra. Why? Because Shukadeva Goswami was already there. Understand? Shukadeva Goswami is Radhika Shuk. Sri Suk means Sriya Sukha, the very beloved parent of Radharani. So Sri Shuk had already flown to the Rasalila and was sitting on the branch of Bangsi Bhat. And so in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sayatra, then the gopis arrived. Why is he saying? Because he was already there. Yaswanu Bhava Makila Sutisara Eka. So Shukadeva Goswami is such a great personality. When Radha and Krishna, they are alone in Nikunja, then Lalita and Vishaka, they cannot be there. Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari may be there. But out of humility they may go outside. and they may look through the Jalarandra. And sometimes Shukadev, in the form of the Parati, that Shukadev can be there and watching the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Sometimes Radhika will faint. So then, who will know what Krishna is doing at that time? Shukadev Goswami. Sometimes Krishna will faint. Then what is Radharani doing? Who will know? Shukadev Goswami. Sometimes Radharani and Krishna both will faint. And then who will tell the Leela? Shukadev Goswami. So this is why when he arrived there in that assembly, all the rishis stood up and they gave pranam to him, and when he spoke from his realization and by the power of the Shabda Brahma, those who were listening, they were also realizing. And even Vyasadev, his Guru, and Narad Muni, his Param Guru, we never heard such beautiful katha before. So Srila Jiva Goswami in Tattva Sandarbhas is explaining, this scripture is the best. This is the greatest. Why? Because the speaker is Shukadev Goswami. Srila Shukadev Goswami Pada ki jai. Sri Tattva Sandarbhas ki